Hi, I'm Elena, and I almost never wear eyeshadow. Clearly, this makes me the ideal candidate to review not one, but two eyeshadow palettes today. Okay, backing up here. Today I'm going to be doing a first impression for two eyeshadow palettes that have been released by the band Palaye Royale. Palaye Royale has put out 4 eyeshadow makeup items so far. 2 full-size palettes and 2 quads. And today I will be doing a first impressions review of the 2 full-size palettes. My relationship with eyeshadow is a bit of a weird one. I own several palettes and I own a lot of individual eyeshadows, but I never use them because I just never feel like taking the extra step. I'm lazy. I'm more of an easy breezy minimalist makeup type of person, so I am pretty much always wearing a full face of Glossier. That's what I'm wearing right now. Easy, apply with your fingers, whatever. As you may know if you've been on my channel before, I have an ongoing series asking, should rock stars write books? And today we'll be asking, should rock stars make makeup? And who knows, maybe I'll end up loving these so much that I wear eyeshadow every day from now on. I will be giving my full, brutally honest opinion, so if it rocks, it rocks. If it sucks, it sucks. I am not affiliated with Palaye Royale, but I do indeed hope that it's good because I would like to believe that I have not spent $60 plus $50 on palettes that don't work. We're going to work from the outside in, starting with this palette. This is Palaye Royale. This was $60 when I bought it at Warped Tour. And yes, I am only just getting around to swatching it. I have not swatched this yet. If you want to know why, please see the first line of this video. But anyway, it feels cheap. A lot of people were complaining about how cheap it feels, but it looks nice, I think. I like that it's not just a plain black box, which they could have easily gone for. And to be honest, weight-wise, it's not actually that bad. Compared to a mostly full modern Renaissance, it's definitely lighter, but it's not like insanely light. It feels like these could belong in the same store. And even visually, like, if you took this out of the slipcover, put this in a box and stuck it on a shelf at Sephora, I'd believe it belongs there. Something to note about the cheapness of this palette was that apparently a lot of the palettes had issues with some of the glue. So when I bought this at Warped Tour, Austin, the merch guy, was checking the palettes, like holding it upside down to make sure that the pans would not fall out, and I witnessed a couple of them doing so. So thank you, Austin, for checking my palette before giving it to me. It might have been because of the heat at Warped Tour, just it was hot outside and it might have softened the glue a little bit, but something to note about the quality of the palette. I like that there's a mirror, because if I do eyeshadow, I'm lazy and I don't want to go run find a mirror. It has a very faint chemical smell, which has not diminished any in the months that this has been sitting in my dresser. It doesn't smell bad though. It doesn't smell like something you would not want to put on your eyes. It just smells like there's a smell. So let's talk about this palette, just the packaging. Honestly, before I even bought this, before it was even available to purchase, I had reservations, because I've never been a fan of shaped eyeshadow palettes. They just look cheap, in my opinion, and they remind me of those cheap Hot Topic palettes that never get any pigmentation. I don't know if this is pigmented or not. I haven't swatched it yet, and the swatches I've seen online have varied greatly, but like, the shape of it reminds me of the cheap Hot Topic palettes. I'm not a fan of it. Not to mention, this is much lighter in weight. Like, comparing these two, this is really lightweight. Palaye Royale says that it has 1.04 ounces of product, and this does not tell us how much product we have in it. So from the looks of it, however, it looks like we have less product, significantly less. There is no mirror, alas, although we do get some very heavy magnetic closure, which I'm not sure why they chose to have such a big magnet in such a lightweight palette. It smells, I don't know, slightly chemically, but a lot of kind of a baby powder type of smell. I'm very confused by what I'm smelling here, but it doesn't smell bad. Before we move on to swatches, I want to mention the names of the various eyeshadows. I am a sucker for named makeup products, so I love seeing the wacky and wild names that people come up with for various shades. This palette has names attached to all of the shades. I don't think they're especially exciting names, they're just the names of various songs from the Boom Boom Room Side A and Side B albums, but they're named. Kudos for that. This one, however, there are no names on any of the eyeshadows. So as I am swatching them, I will be naming these shadows. This might be how I get banned from every single Palaye Royale event ever, so strap in, folks. So this pink color here is called SoundCloud Wrapper, and these shadows feel really buttery, I guess is the right word for shadows? I don't know. Brush swatch? Did I do something wrong? This red color is called Three Cheers for obvious reasons. Ooh. Yeah. Brush time? Again. Nope. This color is called Henry's Grave. Rest in peace, Henry. It's kind of weird because the texture is so buttery and yet we're getting a lot of fallout from it. So next up we have this kind of really dramatic burgundy that I'm calling Fandom. For no reason. It's really dramatic. Fandom. I dare you to argue. That's the first one that actually performed better. This one is called Void in My Wallet, because that's what I have after buying 2 eyeshadow palettes. And that's it for our matte colors. This Silver Hollow glitter, and yes it is hollow, you just can't tell because of my ring light, is called Thank God It's Hollow, because Christine would be so proud. I don't think that's gonna happen. I don't know if there's any point in going over this with a brush. I'm just probably not going to do them for a brush, because I suspect they're all going to be the same. I'll do one more. This champagne glitter color is called Inappropriate Alcohol Comment. Can we please stop making those? They're no longer funny. Ooh, it looks nice. Try it with a brush. You kind of have to pile it onto the brush to get anything, and yeah, this just isn't happening. I won't waste my time or yours. Next up, we have Meme Trash, because have you seen this fan base? Ooh, that one's nice. It feels nice. Then we have one of my favorites, Glitter Slut. I just love that pink color. And finally, Satan's Favorite, for Satan's favorite boy band and Satan's favorite fandom. This one's a little bit harder to swatch. It kind of chunks up a little bit more. I'll try it again. Nah, this one's not as smooth. It goes on kind of glue-like. Still looks nice though. And there we have it. There are our glitter shades. On to the final Boom palette. As I said, this palette has named shades, but personally I don't think the names make all that much sense. Like, why is Ma Chérie silver? When I think of the word chérie, I think of like romance and more like a red or a pink tone, not kind of a gunmetal blue. When I think of Love the Void, I would think of obviously black, but it's red. Nothing about clockwork or clocks says pink to me, so maybe there's something that went into the thought process on naming these that I don't know. Maybe there's another meaning to all these names and their corresponding colors that I just am missing. But my first impression as a consumer is that the shade names seem out of order. So I have created a little chart that I will put up on the screen here that you can pause to read of how I personally would have named all of the shades. Just reorganizing the names into colors that I think make more sense. So we're going to swatch the Final Boom palette, and I'm going to use all the actual names that they gave these shades just to avoid confusion. Something quick, I'm a little nervous. I know people who got their palettes before me, and there have been some mixed reviews about this. Remington mentioned in a DM to a friend who was asking about it that they purposefully used kind of a different formula, more of a creamy formula for these, so we'll see how this turns out. So starting off, we have Dying in a Hot Tub. Ooh, that did a lot better than I thought it would. Thumbs up. Now let's try it with a brush. The texture on this is kind of strange. What? That wasn't it. Are you seeing this? Did I do something wrong? Let's try this again. It's just not picking up on the brush at all. Okay, we're gonna try one more time for the next swatch and see if that'll work, if it was my fault, but otherwise I think we're probably just gonna do finger swatches for this palette. Again, I'm not gonna waste my time and your time watching this. Yeah, this glitter texture is not brushable. Oh. Well, I don't like this glitter. That's disappointing. You'll Be Fine, absolutely gorgeous color. Oh, yes. Chunks up a little bit, but it's so beautiful. It's not really easy to pick this up on the brush. Nope, just no. Okay, these are not shadows that you can use a brush with. We're gonna stop. This is Mr. Dr. Man. Oh. Hospital Beds. Ma Chérie. Clockwork. Love the Void. Yeah, that looks nice. All of these appear to be about the same texture. Kind of putty, creamy. This is Mrs. Infamous, and her failure will live in infamy. Wow. This is not as nice as the other glitters from the other palette. I do not like these glitters in this one. The Boom. Oh, there we go. That's a pickup. And finally, Heartbreak Queen. Whoa. That is pigmented. There we have it. The Final Boom palette. I want to note the texture on these. Like, they're really nice to swatch, but they feel kind of weird. Like, you can poke it, and maybe you can see this on camera. I hope you can see it. But they're just like pokeable, putty shadows, and this was not what I was expecting, especially after the Palaye Royale swatches. They're just really soft. And we are back with a completely bare face, ready to do a look. I was playing around with the shadows a little bit more, just trying to see what layered over top of what nicely, and I think I figured it out. I think I figured out how to work the Final Boom palette, even though it was kind of weird at first. And I think it'll go really well with Palaye Royale. So here we are. And now, the moment we've been waiting for. First up, I am going to take Heartbreak Queen and just put that on my eyes, I guess. Ooh, that got out of control real fast. I did prime it some with some concealer, so I'm not going in with any kind of special eye concealer, just because I don't know how well that will play with this shadow. This shadow is, it feels very weird. Already we're running into a problem, which is this stuff gets everywhere. Like, I promise, I'm not normally this bad at like applying stuff with my fingers. Somehow I survive every single day, but like, all right, we're gonna see what we can do here. Getting detail with this is hard. If not impossible. I don't want to speak too soon though, because I do still have some hope for this. Note to self though, I would put this on before doing the rest of your makeup. I just did it in the order that I would normally put on makeup, but I would do this in a different order than I am currently. I kind of wonder if I can blend this cream out and fix it up a little. That's working. There are just like so many beauty gurus out there just screaming. Like, they're not even watching this video, but they're screaming because they can sense how much unconventional makeup application there is going on here. But like, I promise you, this shadow just does not apply like a normal shadow. Like, you have to go in with your fingers. Good enough. I have no idea how I'm going to pull some of this off now that I'm kind of realizing how difficult it is to get in there with a finger. So I'm gonna have to use pinky. And we are going to go in with Love the Void. We're gonna start adding a little bit more of the dimension, so I'm going to go in with Fandom, that dramatic burgundy color. I'm just gonna extend that up a little bit. Let's try and blend this out. That cream is doing some weird stuff. Blending, blending, blending. Those mattes blend really nicely from the Palette Royale. Something's occurred to me. I'm not sure how we're going to extend down to the lower lash line if I can't use a brush. I don't know how well this is gonna work. Yep. Instead of worrying about that, we're just gonna start adding a little bit more of that shadow in there. We're gonna take Void in my wallet and take that in the crease. From the swatches, I expected this to go much worse. I kind of expected to be fighting the shadows every turn, and to a certain extent, I feel I am, given the fact that I can't really go in with a brush for anything from the Final Boom palette, but so far nothing has exploded. And these are blending out really nice, although my blending technique is the problem here. This is way more dramatic than I ever do, but I'm not mad at it so far. Next we are going to go in with You'll Be Fine, which I think is now officially my favorite shade. Yeah. We need glitter. I'm going to put that on the inside over top of that other shadow just to make the gold really pop out there. This is inappropriate alcohol comment. I'm not entirely sure what I should do with my lower lash line because I want to go back in there with Love the Void, but I don't think I can do that even with like a pinky finger. Maybe very carefully. Love the Void, was that one of those that worked out okay with a brush? Because if so, that would be cool. Yes, it was. We're gonna go back in with Void in Wallet to smoke that out a little bit. Just bring that out. I think that's all right. It's pretty good. The denser packed brush seems to be doing pretty well. So we're gonna try that. Actually, we're gonna try a hand swatch there. Oh yeah, it picks up a little bit. Just a little bit of You'll Be Fine. I guess that's about all I can get off on this brush, but it looks nice. Like at no point in this am I thinking, oh wow, this is terrible, this looks terrible, but it is not how I would expect it to work. None of this is just working the way I would expect it to work. You would expect eyeshadows to work with this guy. They're not. So here we are MacGyvering everything. Now for the part that terrifies me, winged eyeliner. Should I even do a wing? Should I even do anything to this? I don't know. I think we are gonna have to do a wing, just it calls for it. This is too much to not do a wing, so pray for me. For blush and highlight, I wonder if I can use these palettes for that. I was gonna try and use the Final Boom as a highlight, but it will not layer over powder at all. So we're gonna try and figure something else out. I wonder though if I can use the mattes in this, in the Palaye Royale. Knock something over. I wonder if I can use these as a blush. We're living dangerously today. Too much. Very light hand needed. For highlight, since we can't use the Final Boom, I'm just gonna go ahead and use NARS in Soft Sand. This is way more eyeshadow than I ever use, but I like it. Final thoughts. These are very different formulas. This is what you would think of when you think of a traditional eyeshadow palette, and this is a putty cream pigmented party. I have no idea how else to describe this. If you're the kind of person who really wants to use a brush for everything, I would choose this palette. Although, I do have to say, honestly, I don't think it's worth the $60. Even at $50, which is the usual sale price that I've seen it at on the website, on Palaye's Shopify, I would still not go for this. The mattes are just nothing special, and the glitters, while they're great, not worth paying $60 for 5 of them. This guy, on the other hand, I love this. If you really want to use a brush, then please do not buy this. But if you're down for putting your fingers in stuff and smearing it all over your eyes, these blend out beautifully. These play well with powders over top. You can blend the powders over top of this. The shine on some of these is gorgeous. I love this. I forgive the fact that this packaging is so flimsy that I can just wave it around. And honestly, this is so flimsy, I could bend this if I wanted to and just have a day. Like, maybe you can see here, there's like a line there because it creased in the mail. Oh yeah, I think I forgot to mention earlier, Palaye, you might want to work on your mailing packaging. This was all the packaging that I got for this palette. This. You have shrink wrap, a box, a very thin envelope of bubble wrap, and a cardboard envelope. That is the big problem here. However, it does keep the shipping costs down, so should rock stars make makeup? Yes. What initially drew me to these was how unique they were. Like, I have a million band shirts, but who can say that they have eyeshadow from a band? I don't think I've ever seen any other band do this. If you have, please let me know, because I would like to try those out. Hey Palaye, please use this formula more. Also, I would like lipsticks, just saying. If you want to put a girl on a PR list, I think this is probably the only eyeshadow I'm ever going to use for the rest of my life, because I love this. The viewers at home, have you gotten either of these? Would you get either of these? What do you think? What do you think of this look, and did I do an okay job for someone who never does this kind of makeup? If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you like bands, popular culture, and you spend way too much time on the internet like me, hit the subscribe button. Also, please hit the notification bell icon. I don't know what it does, but I hear it's good for business to mention that. And as always, Have a wonderful day.